Okay, today I'm making ribs, but I don't have a smoker because I live in an apartment building. So I'm going to be putting them in the crock pot. So to go along with the ribs, I've got some potatoes that I've just poked all over with a fork and then rubbed them in, rub butter all over them, and then I'm going to cover them in salt, and they're going to go in the crock pot with the ribs. And also I'm going to make an apple coleslaw. So to go in that, you're going to need salt and pepper, you're going to need some parsley, a couple of carrots, obviously some apples, and some cabbage. And I'm going to put a vinaigrette dressing over all that. So yeah, we'll go through all that when we get to it. Okay, for the ribs, I'm not going to trim them up too much because they're going to go in the crock pot and they're going to all cook down. But I do want to remove this membrane on the back of it. So the best way I found to do it is just to get a butter knife and just work it under there. And then get it started. And then get yourself a paper towel, grab hold of it. And if you do it right and the butcher hasn't scored it too much already, it should just come off in one piece. Nearly got it. Okay, after you've got a membrane removed and I just rub my fingers along the edges of the bones to make sure there was no fragments left. So I cleaned it out. And then I'm just gonna put down a little bit of honey mustard on there, just a little bit, just a light coating. I'm just going to rub that over. And this is for the rub to stick to. Now with my rub, I've just made up a little one. We'll put all the ingredients up on the screen, but I just put it all in a jar and shook it up. And that's the rub I'm going to put on these. Okay, so you want a nice even coating of the rub. Once you got it on one side, just let it tack up for a minute or so, then we'll flip it over and we'll get the other side. Once you've got your rub all on it, you don't have to be super anal with the rub on it. I just sort of put it on there and get it on as good as I can. And then you want to, after you've pricked all your potatoes and you've covered them, rubbed them all in butter, you just want to sprinkle salt all around it. Like that. Okay. All right. Once you've got them all the rub all on them, and you've got salt all over your potatoes, you just want to put the ribs in. Now I've got the meat side against the edges of the crock pot, and you just want to put your potatoes in all around, and then just get your ribs in there any way you can. You kind of use the potatoes, and you want to keep the ribs standing up, and you kind of use the potatoes in there to keep them upright. All right, once you've got them all in the crock pot there, like that, I'm going to cook them on high for 6.5 hours. So, to go along with the ribs, I'm going to make an apple slaw with a vinaigrette dressing. So for dressing, I'm going to use 1 part acid, so like vinegar or lemon juice, which I've squeezed the juice of 1 lemon in here, and 3 parts oil. So salt doesn't dissolve in oil, so I've already juiced the lemon in there, and I'm going to put all my other ingredients in. So I just got some honey there. I'm going to put all this in and then dissolve all that up before I put the oil in, because as I said, otherwise it won't dissolve with the oil in there. You could use a bowl and a whisk and whisk all that up, but I find it easier just to get a jar, put it all in, and just shake the crap out of it until it's all dissolved. All right, once you've shaking it. It only took about 30 seconds or so to shake that up and get it all dissolved in. Also, another advantage of having it in the jar is it's easy to see the portion. So I need about 3 parts oil to this. So it looks about there. A little bit more. And just put the lid on. Shake it up a little bit. And your dressing for your slaw's done. Okay, so to make the slaw, I just went ahead and I've chopped up the cabbage into pieces, small pieces, or thin slices like that. And then I grated 2 carrots, and also grated up the apple that's also in there. And then I finally chopped a big bunch of parsley. Now you're just gonna get your little vinaigrette that you've made, and you're just gonna pour that all over it. And give it a good mix in, and then we'll give it a taste, and then we'll see if it needs any more salt or pepper or something like that. So once you've got it all mixed in, and I just tasted it, and I just added a little bit more salt, and now it tastes really good. So now I'm just going to cover this with, I'm just going to cover it up. I'm going to stick it in the fridge, because I've done this. You want to do this I've got about an hour left on the ribs, and that's perfect to get this ready. So then this will sit in the fridge, covered up for about an hour, and then we'll give it another mix just before we're serving, and it'll come out and it'll be good, and it'll be good. After the 6.5 hours, and paper goes off, it should look a little something like that. So you go ahead and take all the potatoes out. Right, now as careful as you can, because they're extremely tender and they're probably going to fall apart. You want to try and take them out as intact as possible. And put them on a baking tray. So we're going to stick them in the oven and get a little bit of colour on them. Alright, now with the juice that's come out of the ribs, you don't have to do much to that, just pour it off into a container, and we'll serve that with them later. So, after they've been in there, it only takes about 5 minutes or so after you've under the oven. And once they look like that, and you've got a little bit of firmness more about them, then they're ready to serve. So, what I like to do is get the potatoes, give them a good smash. And then you get some of the juices, and just pour them all in there. And the ribs, well, you don't really need a knife and fork to cut them open.
Happy days?
Happy days.